Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, we're going to talk about, is the economy affecting your life? Ladies and gentlemen, you better wake up because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity that's about to be behold upon you in the next 2 or 3 years. I've talked about this before. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, I want to thank you for being here on the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And please share the videos. You know why? Because you never know who's out here looking for this information. And also tonight, let's talk about this Game 7 in the Boston Gardens. The ghost of the Gardens past. Will it come upon the Miami Heat? Or will the Miami Heat go through destiny? Can the Celtics be the first team to come back from a 3-0 deficit? Wow. Well, yes, I was a little bit late. I'm very sorry for that, but I was watching the first quarter. I like the 27-15 early jump start going on so far. It's been a beautiful piece of work and very happy to see it. Now, let's see what we can get into tonight because we have Auntie Val is here with the icon next to her name. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And she brings her tagline, good evening, fam, with the heart, with the strength, with the support. And got the notification and trailer. That's one person. Thank you so much for letting me know. That's right, everybody. Auntie Val is also known in these YouTube streets as Professor Auntie Val. And the professor has conjured up a new entrepreneurial experience with Beachfront Coffee. Oh, sorry. Beachfront Java. Beachfront Java, ladies and gentlemen. You want your 15% discount? I don't have the code handy, but I'm about to let it be handy in the chat room. So everybody that sees the chat room, make sure you go over, get your 15% off from Beachfront Java. It's whole beans. It's Peruvian, Honduran, African blends, extra nice whole beans that you can order in the 1 pound bag. Soft launch is started, and you get a 15% discount plus free shipping in the United States. If you like coffee, go show some love to Professor Auntie Val and her family, Beachfront Java. All right. And if you're a business, I think you might want to check out some Beachfront Java. Make sure you get that deal. Order quite a few dozen pounds of this premium blended coffee. All right. Jawway J is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline, good evening, SSN Nation. Got the notification and saw the trailer. Thank you so much for that, Jawway J, and thank you so much for being in the house. Jawway J is a real estate investor, ladies and gentlemen. Pre-construction style as well, which means no credit check, no qualifying, and all you have to do is put down 10% in most cases, and then wait for a few years for your property to be built. And in those couple of years, the value of the property went up and you didn't have to do anything except make monthly payments during the construction of 20 to 40%, depending on the contract and the project. And then once it's built, you owe them generally 60 to 50%. But remember, your loan to value ratio has increased even though they have gone by the contract price right now. But it's okay. If you have something going to be built in 2 years, we're going to talk about this. Interest rates will be down. The lending programs and everything out there will be way different than what they are right now. And I suspect 2 years from now, or even a year and a half from now, I suspect there's going to be loans that they're going to give out that they'll say, yes, you only owe 70,000. We'll give you a loan for 110, 140, 150. But right now, whatever your value is, if you owe 70, they're giving you a loan for 70. You're going to have to refi later. Not bad either way, because when the interest rates go down, refi is going to be great. You'll have more equity. All right. Professor Auntie Val, always already from Southeast Florida, is also on the Let's Go Heat. Smash that like button as well, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see. Thank you all for being here. Mo Better is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon next to his name. He brings his tagline this evening. He says, good evening, SSN fam. What's up, E? What's up with you too, Mo Better? Memorial Day in the building. There you go. It's a Memorial Day again, ladies and gentlemen, for the fallen and slain. We should have our little 5 seconds because, again, it's for the fallen soldiers that have wrecked their lives and their families' lives to make America where you can actually have the freedoms you have. So again, I have to say, that's what this is. It's sad. So 5 seconds of silence for the fallen soldiers. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's Buried Special. As you know, I'm the Air Force brat kid. My dad did go over to Vietnam. Luckily, he made it back. But around the world for decades, nearly a century, we have fallen soldiers, thus the Memorial Day weekend. All right. Thank you for mentioning that, Mo Better. Here we go. Got the notification and trailer. That's 3 people tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for that, Mo Better. And Brian P's in the house, another investor. He's saying, I'm not going to do just real estate. I'm not just going to do crypto. I might be in the stock market as well. But once again, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon next to his name. And that means he's a member of the channel, not just subscriber, but a member. So I appreciate that greatly. And he says his tagline, hello, Eric. Hello to you too. I hope all is well. Hello, SSN family. I got the notification and trailer. That's 4 people. Can we break the record on this Game 7 night? That would be awesome. Thank you so much, Brian P. I appreciate your support. Thank you again for being in the house. Professor Auntie Val, ground coffee labels approved, coming soon. I'll sell coffee to anyone in any amount, large and bulk orders welcome. Exactly. That's what we're talking about. The construction crew out there right now. You guys are watching. Order up some of Professor Auntie Val's coffee. Get your 15% off, or even better, order in bulk. That's what you got to do. Go to Beachfront Java. Use the link down below. Get your free shipping. All right. So that's how that works. All right. Smack that like button. Exactly. Smack that like button. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Just remember, today is May 29th, 2023. It's a live stream. It's a SSN Nation podcast. Now, remember, F average, B legendary. Yes, you can get this gear. You know where. It's stopstrugglingnow.com. This is very, very true. All right. It's embroidered. It's not a stick-on. All right. There's white. There's black hats. But point I'm trying to make, this is the time for you to not be average. This is the time that you need to consider F average, because you're going to have to be legendary in order to keep up this pace. If you really think that you're going to be able to accumulate enough money and deal with 10% increases in prices for the next 3, 4, 5 years, I got a bridge to sell you because you will not be able to keep up. Because 10% is not 10%. You're thinking it's 10%, but it's not 10%. And I'm going to have to go to what we call the calculator in a minute. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. King Choice, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream in the house. Glad to see you, K-Lo, KSSN Familia, with the strength, with the support. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for being in the house once again. Very nice to see you. And let's go to a calculator real quick, because this is why you have to F average, ladies and gentlemen. You just can't do the status quo. Those days are over. You don't see it yet, just like you don't see America as a third world country either. But what more do you need to know? When things start being a la carte, what I mean is people are working at stores talking about giving them tips. I'm not talking about waiters and servers and the valet who actually are going to do something. These people have a job that they're getting paid for, and they're sitting there going, can I get a tip? When they start charging you a la carte, when you go to a restaurant, when you go to a hotel, when you start going places in America, that's like a third world country. It's going down, ladies and gentlemen. I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it, because the bottom line is this channel is Stop Struggling Now. SSN Academy, SSN University, it's the no guru zone, so we don't have a course to sell to save you. We do have knowledge here because we have entrepreneurs. We have business people, entrepreneurs, people that have invested in many different things, such as restaurants, hotels, in themselves by going social media wise. And social media wise is free for everybody. You got a phone, you have a camera in your laptops, tablets. Come on. What are you waiting for? You have knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. Use it. All right. George's Charles is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. He has the icon next to his name as well. And he brings his tagline, I smell money in here. Well, George's Charles, he's on the money train. He's done F average. He's gonna be legendary. Why do I say that? Because he's a real estate investor. He's a wise man, because he got into the pre-construction game as well. Can you imagine buying something for $150,000, and in 2.5 years that could be worth $300,000, and you didn't have to pay any extra to get that $150,000 of equity, and then you get to tap into that equity and go buy yourself another asset that pays you? That's what we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. That's real estate. But that doesn't just have to be an Airbnb. Who says you can't go buy another business like a Shark Tank member? You can. Who says you can't start your own business? You can. Who says you can't buy a hotel? You can. Who says you can't buy a fixer-upper and get a rehab loan? You can. You just have to know where to look. Because not everybody can just call up a lender and say, hey, you know what? I found this property over here. And, if you can give me an extra 200,000. In fact, forget give me the extra 200. Can you give me the 300,000 I need to buy it? Give me the 200,000 I need for rehab. And after it's done, we have the appraisal. It says it's going to be worth 850,000. So all I have to do is sell it for 700, and I still make 200,000 in a matter of 6 months, 7 months. Can I get a loan? They'll be like, sir, sorry, probably can't help you. But guess what? There are people out here that wants to earn more than 5% on their money that they leave in a bank, and they're holding millions of dollars. So that's why you need to get in touch with me. Support at Stop Struggling Now. I can try to help you. I know people, lenders, that could help you out. But, you might have to give up 10, 12, 15%. But I'm just saying it's possible if you have to go that route. So therefore, you have a lifeline. No barriers to entry. You're not going to have an excuse to be legendary. And George's Charles said, you know what? I'm going all in. I'm spending a lot of money. I'm getting more than one property, and I'm getting it in the right place. That's why he smells money, ladies and gentlemen. Georges Charles with the icon says, I learned from here. Thank you so much, Georges Charles. I appreciate it. That's how we do it. We don't want to leave anybody left behind. No stone unturned. Oh, did I mention no credit check, no qualifying, no barrier to entry, even for our pre-constructions, even for the loan I just described with the ARV after rehab value? You get the whole amount. You just got to lock in the contract, and it's got to make sense to the investor, of course, right? So just think of it. Just think that you can almost get anything financed if it makes money. You just don't know a lender who's going to say, oh, here's 300,000 or here's 200,000 or here's $1 million. I understand. But that's why you have a lifeline here. And Wilson Koo's also here in the house. He can help people as well. All right. Now, is the economy affecting your life, ladies and gentlemen? Let me know what you think. Let me check a few things out here before I get into this, because I'm going to put something on the screen clearly. We always got to go to the facts, because this is going to be, I'm going to go, I messed around with Dave Ramsey past week on Friday. I'm not going to mess with Mr. Ramsey tonight, because, in fact, I'm going to stay with Mr. Ramsey because he does say something about debt. And this right here, I have to agree, the debt is serious. This is very, very serious, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why this is serious is because there's inflation and debt, and most people, 73% of millennials, as we mentioned on Friday, live paycheck to paycheck. 50% of all United States citizens live paycheck to paycheck. If we do the math, that's like 160, 175 million people live paycheck to paycheck. Well, I got news for you, ladies and gentlemen. I got bad news for you. There's a problem. 350 million Americans do not work. So it does not count those 50% of Americans. I have worse news for you. Out of 350 million Americans, roughly 125 million Americans work. 350, though, is all Americans age 0 to infinity. So therefore, I don't know how many people are under 18, which should not be counted in my book. So we use numbers like 30 million, 25 million. So 320 million are adults. Let's put it in that category. If you only have 112, 120, 125 million Americans working, what are the other 180 million doing? Well, social media, starting their own businesses. So when we talk about 50% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, what are we talking about in reality? Because only 125 actually have paychecks. So that means 60, 70 million people, I'll round up even, are living paycheck to paycheck. 33% of the millennials are living paycheck. 73% of millennials are living paycheck to paycheck. So almost the whole damn workforce is living paycheck to paycheck. When you really start breaking this down, yeah, there's going to be the 30% that doesn't live paycheck to paycheck, 40%. But when you start breaking things down, who's going to pay the taxes, ladies and gentlemen? This is a teeter-totter. Just remember that. Economics is a teeter-totter. What weighs more? 125 million people on one side or 200 million people on the other side of the teeter-totter? You guys tell me. It's not hard. That's how this works. That means people have to pay in to cover the other people. That means your taxes have to go up. So now, look at this right here. Why do you think this debt is climbing so fast and so high? Let's get into this, shall we? This is total debt balance for United States. The blue is representing housing debt Look at this. It was 6 trillion in 2004. 2008, we had a bump up to 9-10 trillion. But look at this now, ladies and gentlemen. This total right here is 12.38 trillion. And then the non-housing debt is 4 trillion. Some people may be confused. They may be saying, Eric, this doesn't make sense. Trillion. Let me show you guys something here. I'm going to go over here real quick because a lot of people don't understand. Most people understand $1 million, right? Most people understand 5 million. Most people understand 10 million. But what if you had $1 million, $1 million? That's $1 trillion, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it here on the screen. Or it's $1,000 billion. Can you imagine $1 million and somebody goes, oh yeah, I'm going to buy something for 10 million. So they have 999,000. Again, this is crazy. That's not even, that's only $1 million right there, but 999,000. That is serious. $1 million millions. So you can go around and say, here, I'm going to buy something for 100 million. You still have 900 million left over. That's crazy. All right. Think about that. That's significant. All right. Now, so when you go back, now you start realizing how much this debt really is. When somebody says 12 trillion, you understand that's 100 million, 1 million times 1 million times 12, ladies and gentlemen. That is pretty serious. 900 million is easy to remember, right? Times 12. That gets you around 12 million. 12 trillion. So you understand how this works. That's a lot of money. Okay? Now, here's what I'm going to do, because a lot of people don't understand how this breaks down. You could see it here. This is where we're at now. 1.6 trillion for student loan, 1.6 trillion for auto loans, 1 trillion for credit cards. What do you think's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think's going to happen? When the Federal Reserve raised the interest rate 0.25, probably this month, next month, June, do you think that this trillions are actually going to go up? You realize this, right? These are records, by the way. So they're going to break all the records after it moves up a little bit more. Do you understand? This can't be paid back. Who's going to pay it back? You're going to be paying it back, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I keep saying, keep playing around and not getting assets that pay you. Keep messing around, and you're going to find out in about 2 years what that decision that you're making right now in 2023 that you had total control over, you may not have control over in the future, especially when the bank stops giving you money, when you're not able to go in there. How many people know that in the UK you have a limit? You can't walk in the bank and say, I want $5,000. Just to give you an idea. All right. You can't go in there and say, hey, I want $3,000. They're going to look at you and be like, sorry, sir. You can only take out 2 G's. Sorry. Come back in 24 hours, by the way, also. All right. This is what's going on around the world. They're already doing it here in America. You guys just don't know about it. All right. So just think about it. All right. George's Charles. Preach, Eric. Thank you so much. All right. King Choice. The Biden economy is definitely affecting mine. I have a trucking business. These high fuel costs for diesel are killing the industry. Wasn't like these under Mr. F45. I'm just saying. King Choice. You know I always like this subject matter. You know I like this subject matter. I like it. I like it. I like it. Because, King Choice, you have to think. Let me ask you something. I'll just put it plain and simple. if you never changed any rules, right? You kept the same policies that were in place, that was already in place, that would affect your fuel cost, and your predecessor put those rules in place, whose fault would it be? Or in other words, you just got promoted. You just showed up for work. Some people are acting crazy. Your predecessor put in these rules that allow people to act like fools. Your boss comes to you a year later and says, "Hey, King Choice, why is your workers in here acting like fools? We gave you a promotion and we thought you could handle this." And then you turn to your boss like, "I'm using the policies that were already in place. What are you blaming me for? You guys set this stuff up." Well, oh, okay. So let's get down to it, King Choice. I don't have the government, I don't have the information, but this isn't what it appears to be. So I will start with Economics 101. As I began, because this is one of the reasons I talk about these things as I begin speaking, remember when I was talking at the beginning about how many people actually work, how many people are going to actually be paying taxes? Remember? Remember that. So if I come to you and I say, "King Choice, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut taxes." And you go, "Man, that's awesome." But King Choice, what I didn't tell you was, I'm cutting taxes for the wealthy. You're like, "Excuse me?" And guess what, King Choice? You're going to have to pay their share in order for us not to have a deficit. Oh, and by the way, since we have to print it up because we're in debt, that means you're also going to have to bear the burden of inflation. So, but I just make this decision. I just want you to be happy. And what I didn't tell you was that in about 7, 8 years, the tax that I took from you, that I gave you a little savings on, well, I have to raise all your taxes, but I'm going to leave the guys up top. Their taxes are going to stay the same. And oh, don't worry about it. It's only $7.8 trillion in the next 10 years that'll be affected. Don't worry. You would look at me like you're looking at me probably right now, like, what the frick is he talking about? I wouldn't sign up for that deal. Why am I going to pay for these guys? Billionaires dudes, they own 70% of the wealth. 3 guys own more wealth than the bottom 50%. Those are the guys he gave tax cuts to. Those are the guys that you're paying their taxes that they didn't have to pay. I got some news flash. Explain how we're going to pay trillions or $100 million of their tax, and that burden falls on you and me. Guess what, King Choice? So we have to print more money because we're already a $30 trillion deficit. So since we're printing more money and we're going to have inflation cost, who cares? It'll hit the market in about 2 or 3 years, and so what? We'll deal with it then. And then if we're not in power, we'll just blame the other guy. Things are already in place, my man. Now, by the way, I might as well just get this out the way. What the hell? 25% of the deficit, I'm talking about our the $32 trillion. 25% of our United States deficit was created between 2017 and 2021. Guess who has to pay for it now? We are. And that's in the form of inflation, higher cost, everything goes down. Now, somebody else comes into play What do they have to do? They go, oh my God, we got to make decisions. We have to do some things. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's get back to it, shall we? Here's what we're going to do. I got a plan. I got a plan for you. I got a real big plan for you. Here we go. I got a plan. See that student loan debt up here? 1.20, what is that? $1.6 trillion. Well, how about we trim about 360 million out of the way? Sorry. Right? Why not? 360? How about 360 billion? Does it matter at this point? Why don't we just give 360 billion so people can not have to pay their student loans and all that? But then you have the same guys that wanted to do 25% deficit and make you pay for the billionaires and all those people, the higher echelon that make money, pay their fair share. They don't want to. Now you have one side of the fence that says, oh no, we can't have these guys get a $10,000 debt reduction. No, we got to stop that because we don't want to give any relief for them. But when the bank failures come, because we already set up the Dodd-Frank, when the bank failures come, we're going to bail out the banks with billions of dollars. What's the difference? Because guess who's going to be paying the taxes for that? Mr. King Choice and the rest of us is sitting here, and your taxes in the United States, you got to pay for that crap. Because remember, we got tax cuts and tax breaks for the other guys. So they don't have to pay as much as you do percentage-wise. So how do you create inflation? You create inflation by putting more money in the money supply. So when somebody says, I am going to give somebody a tax cut and tax break, that means where's the money going to come from to pay for United States services? There's going to be less money going into the pile, which now means Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve, they're going to have to get bonds out, and that creates more money in the money supply, which now means you have reduced the value of the dollar. So now I need more dollars to buy the same thing I could buy last year. It's really simple. It's not that hard. But don't worry. 50% of the people here live paycheck to paycheck. Don't worry. 73% of the millennials, who are the younger 30 million people who actually is going to have to pay for your Social Security, they don't have money. They live paycheck to paycheck. So now Social Security, Medicare, social services are going to have to start getting a little shut down. You don't have enough people working. People are living longer. Can you not see an end game here, ladies and gentlemen? This is going to end badly. That's why you have to get your assets right now. Wake up. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity because we don't know what's going to happen after this next 2 years goes by. You don't know, but you best believe you're going to need assets that pay you. You cannot go out like this, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have to not be average. You're going to have to F average and be legendary because you don't get to sit here and take a job and think you're going to work somewhere for 30 years or 25 years. Those days are over. All right. Don't even think about that. You're going to have to figure out another way. All right. Vanessa Comma Gates in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon next to her name. The Seamless Genius is here in the house. That's who she is. And she brings her tagline. Hey, Boston SSN fam, Memorial Day to all. Memorial Day to all is correct. All right. Like I said, 5 seconds of silence. We've already done it for the slain, those that protected our freedoms and our rights that we have, ladies and gentlemen. So don't let somebody trample all over your rights because guess what? You have more rights than the Second Amendment. You better start protecting all of them because somebody's trying to take them away. Now let's get to it. Auntie Val, what's good, sis? All right. Auntie Val, my coffee came and going to pick it up tomorrow. Can't wait to taste it. Vanessa Comagate with the first order from the beachfront Java. That's Professor Auntie Val, ladies and gentlemen, with her Venture Beachfront Java. And get your £1 right now using the code in the chat box. Make sure you get the code. I put it in there, 15% off, free shipping. Great. Let me know what you think. I value all feedback. That's what we do as entrepreneurs, ladies and gentlemen. We don't mind the criticism because the criticism is like a science experiment. That's the only way we can get information and grow. This is how we can be better. We have to know where the shortfallings come from. That's what we have to do. So we never mind criticism. But there's some people that have big egos and you can't tell them anything. This is true. But that's not me. That's not Professor Auntie Val. Any feedback is always appreciated. All right. Any discussion's always appreciated. That's why we have a chat room down here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Vanessa Comagate at Auntie Val. I definitely will. I know how important it is, sis. Exactly. That's what we do with the hearts. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, didn't mean to get off into the weeds a little bit, but it has something to do with what we're dealing with right now. All right. If you sat right here right now today and you took all the debt and then somebody looked at you, your husband, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, children came to you and they said, hey, you know, we realize we're like $100,000 in debt, but you know, we want to help out all these rich guys. So we got to take money from you guys. So, hey, do you mind? You guys got to give me 25 G's right now. You as a parent would be like, have you lost your freaking mind? What are you talking about? Didn't we not just say we're $100,000 in debt? And now you want us to go 125,000? And we can't even pay this back and give it to somebody else? What are you talking about? I don't think anybody would sign up for that. I don't think so. All right. So I had to reiterate again, you wouldn't sign up for that. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, when the Federal Reserves increase the interest rate, I'm anticipating in June, another 0.25. I'm thinking they are. Most people are saying they won't. I think they will. That means all the debt goes up. I said it again. That means, do you have a way to get an increase of 0.25 in the door? At least just to stay even. Right? Now, if inflation goes up another 5-6%, now we're talking about 6.25 if it's 6%. Do you have a way to make 6.25% now, next month, starting next month in June? Do you have a way to make an extra 6%? Now, 6% is not that much, but it starts adding up. So if the answer is no, then now you understand why you're going to be living paycheck to paycheck. And again, you need to wake up because the once in a lifetime opportunity is here. You have several fronts that you can mess with right now. One of those fronts is clearly real estate. That's the easiest of all, because I don't know if you guys have been on social media lately, but on my social media, I know it's catered to me. I am getting like the world is for sale. I'm getting stuff. Freaking Vietnam even came up today. $39,000 condo in Vietnam pre-construction. I'm getting stuff in Tulum, Mexico. I'm getting stuff in Dubai. I'm getting stuff in Orlando. I'm getting stuff in Thailand. I even got something in Peru today. Ecuador last week. I mean, the world is on sale. And guess who can only buy it is generally Chinese, Europeans, American citizens have the disposable incomes. So again, some of this money is being funneled outside of the United States and not even bought and paid for our products in the US, which causes another problem. Because when you have a trading deficit, that's a problem. That's going to affect what's going on in your country. So a lot of millions and billions of dollars are leaving the United States, going outside of the country for investments. They need all that money here. So that's another reason why the cost of living is going to continue to increase. You have to understand all this, ladies and gentlemen. You have to understand. We live in a third world country. You guys just don't see it because you look at things based on what it looks like. It's not what it looks like, it's what's going on underneath. And when you see towns rotting away, when you see towns can't deal with their infrastructure, when you see a country that's supposedly the most powerful country in the world can't even make sure that their electric grid is 110%, you should start thinking there's a problem. And nobody is concentrating on infrastructure, right? But you're going to have to spend money on infrastructure, just like pre-construction. It cost you $100,000 to start building it. But if you buy the materials 2 years later, the materials cost more. So what you could build for $100,000 now is going to cost you $130,000 because inflation was 20% year over year. So it's going to cost you materials $130,000, more in permits and taxes and import fees and all this. So now it might cost you $140,000 just to break even, not make money, just to break even. So you can't charge the same amount 2 years later. This is why you want to get yourself some pre-construction. One of the main reasons. And you don't want to just get one from anywhere. All right? Think of that. Keep that in mind. All right. This is looking good, ladies and gentlemen. I like what I see. I'm loving what I see. Miami came to play tonight. This is unbelievable. Can they hold on? Can they hold on? All right. This is a struggle. Brian P. Here we go. Hey, Eric, did you see that Texas town for sale? Exactly. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I did see it. I did see it. And there's several towns in America for sale. People just don't know about it. Let me tell you guys something. So what happens? This is one town. There's at least 30 towns for sale in America. People don't know that. You know why they're for sale? Because they either have to go bankrupt because they don't have the money. It's that simple. You have to tax people. But what if there's no jobs? That's the problem. What if people don't pay their property taxes? That's a problem. So you can have, again, it's a teeter-totter effect. You can have 70% of the people pay the tax, 30% of people don't. What happens, though, when 50% pay the tax and 50% don't? How are you supposed to run the services and do everything for the other 50% who aren't paying? You have a deficit. That means we get into borrowing money. You understand this is very, very serious. This is not something that you can just let slide by because this is about to change your family's life if you make the right moves at this time. You can also buy stocks that we've talked about before, but you're going to have to put some faith in yourself because there's going to be less and less high-paying jobs. There's going to be less jobs, period. We're going to have a problem where there's going to be a large percentage of the population who does not have an official W-2 job. So therefore, what's your only other way? That means you're going to have to generate money the old-fashioned way and recirculate it using hard work, your hard work. Let me ask you this right here, ladies and gentlemen. When you leave the country, you go to Mexico. Why? Why do you go to Mexico? Why do you go to Philippines? Why do you go to Thailand? Why do you go Vietnam? Why do you go Costa Rica or Brazil or any island in the Caribbean? You know why. It generally costs less. The drinks are cheap. The food is cheaper. Transportation is cheaper. Everything's cheaper. Except there's one little problem. Those are developing nations, third world countries. That's right. Generally. So what do you see? You see people with little shacks, little things trying to sell on street corners. At the beach, you have people coming through. You have bars, restaurants, places to eat, lots of little infrastructure items, right? That's what we have here in America. You have so many people doing their own businesses. Same thing, except we have the dollar. So again, ladies and gentlemen, you have time to get your assets in order. Assets, stocks, assets, real estate, multifamilies preferred, something that gives you a return on your investment, not a home. A home does not give you a return because you have to live there. That means you have to work for it. If you have an asset first, then your asset pays for where you live. That's the way you want to do this, right? We've talked about this several times. All right. F them. Exactly, Brian P. Eric, let's buy the town. No, I'm not buying any towns, man. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Here it is. Here we are in America. We have a crumbling infrastructure. Nothing done. Roads, bridges, infrastructure, rail, all crumbling. Why? It cost trillions of dollars to fix, ladies and gentlemen, because you ignored it. They took our tax money, but we have to give tax cuts and tax breaks. They ignore us. So there's not enough money to go into the coffers to spend trillions of dollars on, let's just call it decrepit, old infrastructure. Concrete doesn't last forever. All right. Steel doesn't last forever. Rust is a thing for steel products. It's a thing. They deteriorate. Cement deteriorates. Doesn't stay forever. All right. Let's go. Eric, the Primavera developer said, so far, I'm the only 4-bed, 5.5 bath so far planned in the area. George's Charles, you know why? Nobody else knows about it. Like I said, it was a production came from the Primavera Luxury and Primavera 3 originally. So I actually went back and I actually have the floor plan for it because I was talking about it back then. You could do this, you can do that. So you are going to be the only one because they don't advertise it. And nobody else is going to do it. Let's just call it what it is. People are a creature of habit. They'll sit there and look at it and go, oh, that's nice. 3 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. Every bedroom has a bathroom, $253,000. And I got a pool. Let's go. They're not thinking as a investor. So as an investor, you're going, hey, wait, you can add that bathroom back there, service quarters. You've got a shower outside, turn that into a full bath. Now we got 4 bedrooms, 5.5 baths, and we can sleep 10 people, which puts us in a $300 to $400 per night range, which means we have a great return on investment if we can stay at 60% occupancy. Even at 60% occupancy for $300 per night, that looks very, very good. So everybody, this is just some numbers. This is based on Primavera 4. You can search the channel. I did a Primavera 4 video with the developer. They have their own man-made beach. That's right, in a villa, in a home complex, which is pretty sweet. So 60% is 18. What is that? 18 nights? 18 times 300. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. What is that? 5,400? More than that. I got to get a calculator up. We'll do something real quick because this is what you have to consider. You have to put yourself in these situations. 300 times 18 nights, 5,400. All right. 5,400 times 12. What is that? 60,000? 64,800. And what if you buy something for 260, round up, $270,000? How about that? How about that? 64,800 divided by 270,000. Damn, that's 24% return on your money. Okay, I got a little bit excited. I'm sorry. All right. I forgot about our, never mind. 24%, but it's not truly 24% because I messed up. Because we're going to have management. So we have to give the management their 25% cut, let's say. All right, so we got to subtract. So we have 64,800 minus 16,200. What is that? 48. I'm just going to call it 48,000. All right. So we got 48,000. All right. Divided by 270,000. And we get 17.8%, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking at that type of return, and it gets even weirder because in about 2 years, that's probably going to be able to be a $350 to $400 per night. And now you're going to be talking about 20% return in just a matter of 2 years. 20% return on your money. Would you not mind having $60,000, $50,000, $45,000 extra coming in every month because you made a decision today with no credit check, no qualifying, because you wanted to buy a 4-bedroom, turn it into a 5.5 bath, spend $270,000, but all you had to do was put down 10%, make monthly payments for about, I believe it's 12 to 15 months. I just don't know, but it's somewhere in there. You pay down another 20 or 30% over the next 12 to 15 months. And then after that, then you finance the remaining amount. Now you have a villa in a complex that has its own clubhouse with a restaurant, with a man-made beach, with a basketball court, with a soccer field, with a children's playground, just for starters, gated community, and 10 minutes from downtown, probably somewhere in there. 10 to 15, I'll say that. So he's done it. Several others have done it. So there you go. That's how he's doing it. That's true. He is not promoting it, but he will do it. And if anyone wants it, oh, George's Charles, hold on. He will do it, right? There's no need for an architect because he's building it. He's signed on because I'm pretty sure your contract said he's doing it, right? It's not like they're building the 3-bedroom, 4.5 bath, and then they're going to say, hey, get an architect after we build it. They're not doing it that way, right? So just let me make sure, because that's major right there. I should thank you. When we spoke with the developer, you asked if it was an option. He said he would do it. Thank you, Eric. Exactly, George's Charles. That's what I'm saying. He said he would do it. Don't let him mess around, because he said it on a couple of occasions. And furthermore, why would you have the floor plan? I know he was trying to wiggle out of it, but again, why would you have the floor plan? I have the floor plan from a year ago. So I already know he can't wiggle out of it. They already had the floor plans. 5,400. Yep. That's a great deal. Exactly, Vanessa Kamagate. We'll all take that type of deal. And that's the deal that we could all be in right now. Some are going to be in deals better than others. All right. Because again, the perfect example is a project that seemingly has issues. The beach. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It looks so beautiful. I keep saying this every live stream. It's beautiful. George's Charles, congrats. My contract says it. No, I asked for it, Eric. It's written in the contract. Yes, George's Charles, I remember. Yeah, because their contract was normally for the, 3 bedrooms, 4.5 baths. So, yeah, wise choice. And once again, George's Charles did the best thing. Yes, because it was verbal, but in the contracts, when you get your real estate contracts or pre-construction contracts, make sure they say what you have. All right? Because when I was doing the Panorama Garden, they were off like 15 or 20 meters. I can't remember. And I said, I can't sign this unless you have the actual right footage, right everything in there. There is no, we'll work on it later. Nope. It's contractual law, just like in America. If it doesn't say it's in the contract and it's all verbal, you're going to have a fight. He said. So you don't want a he said. You want it written down. So therefore, I don't have to worry about this later. And I'm not signing if it ain't in there, right? That's what you have to do if you want to buy something. Or you can take the other approach. Risk it. But if you risk it, no later, they can always come back to you and say it's not in your contract. So he did a very, very good thing. It was written down. All right. Too much violence here. 7 people got hurt. Gun violence. Florida boardwalk today. I know, Vanessa Comagate. That's a third world country. I know. This is what's going down. Remember, I started talking about this originally, why I said, why would you want to do the Dominican Republic? Remember, I said, because you can get on a boat. If worse comes to worse, the United States hems up its citizens and doesn't allow you to leave the country with your passport. You have property in Dominican Republic. I can go over there. I have land. I have property. I at least am going to have my 90-day visa. But they're probably going to give me a little leniency when I also own land there or property there. I'll be able to get residency. And by the way, I can always leave on a boat back to America. I'm saying not a cruise ship. I'm just talking about a boat. That's the thing. When people said, Eric, why don't you get something in Costa Rica? Why don't you get something in South America? Why don't you get something in Europe or the Asian continent? I'm like, that's not the plan. The plan is, you can always worry about that later, but you need to worry about if something happens, where can you get to? You want to go to Mexico? You want to try and run through Mexico? I highly do not suggest that. If you're going to Mexico, I would not be playing around. Those little, when they're talking about those drug cartels, they're no joke. You guys have no idea. It's no joke, all right? So I don't want to go through Mexico because that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to walk, right? You're going to have to be illegal on the other side. You're going to have to walk. It's not like you're going to drive. I'm just saying. So this is one of the reasons. So this stuff that she's talking about right here is exactly the problem in America, because America has the most guns in the world. And the way things are going, nobody wants to restrict, weapons of mass destruction, assault weapons. And they don't want to restrict weapons, period. So all that means is the more mental, the more that people don't have anything, the more people will take, the more people will be upset, the more people will be under stress. You make crazy decisions. And the easiest thing, why talk, why discuss, why argue when I can just end your life and it's over? Let's see. That's pretty much where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. It's going down. You can see this little downward spiral. All right, Vanessa Comagate, exactly. Why I want to retire in the Dominican Republic. Exactly, Georges Charles. Exactly. I don't blame you at all, brother. Exactly. Mr. De La Cruz is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And Mr. De La Cruz is another investor. He done did what you got to do. He said, F average. I'm going to be legendary. He woke up already. He's doing the once in a lifetime opportunity. And by the way, I'm just going to talk about it right now. Good evening, SSN Nation. Good evening to you too, Mr. De La Cruz, because here's a real estate investor. Guess where? In the Dominican Republic. By the way, Mr. De La Cruz did the damn thing. He bought some property at that property I mentioned earlier, the beach. From all statistics, it appears, we don't know for sure, but it appears whatever he bought is worth double. It appears that's what it could be. They haven't even finished yet. Imagine once it's done. But what if he did the unthinkable? Exponentials that I talked about 3.5, almost 4 years ago, when I said, why buy one when you can buy two? Why buy two if you can afford three? Well, if you bought something for $126,000 and it's now worth like $230,000, you're going great. But if you bought one and you bought two, and now both of them combined is worth an extra $200 and some thousand, that's even better. Because now you have choices. Sell one, pay off the other one, or rent one, live in one. Either way, you have income coming in and the value has increased. And by the way, the value is going to increase even more. They're not even done. I'm like, they only have like 5 buildings, and even those 5 buildings aren't completely done. So this is going to play out beautifully, but their backdrop of their beach and everything is awesome. So again, this is what's going to happen. You have to put yourself in the right place, and you can't be, got to do this, F average, be legendary. If you want this shirt, t-shirts, you got to go to stopstrugglingnow.com. All right. We have them in black. We have them in white. Either way, that's where you go get these. So it's congratulations to Mr. De La Cruz, because no, he didn't stop. He says, Eric, I'm getting another one over by Santo Domingo too. And here's the reasons why. Okay. All right. See, he just went crazy. So he gets to be a real estate mogul, because in 2 years, he can sell any one of his properties, and it probably the one at the beach might pay for all the other ones. That's how crazy this is. That's how crazy this is. Facts. I'm no longer want to buy one per project. You are 100% correct. Keep one, sell the other. Exactly, Mr. De La Cruz. Exactly. I know you're going with one or the other because it only makes sense at that point. You're using your assets. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. This may not come along again. Sure, you can always get pre-construction, but the values you're able to get right now won't be these values. Where can you get something $100 a square meter or a square foot? Right? 115 square meter or square foot. Well, you can get it at Primavera still. All right, those are villas. You can still get them in certain locations. You can still get them. I don't even know where you can still get them at Cruise on Land. But again, check out my video for Cruise on Land before you buy there. The one that says it's no longer number one, not number one any longer. That's the one you want to go to. Cruise on Land, not number one. But that is still $100 a square meter, $115 a square meter for a condo. So prices are right. In only a few locations, sooner or later, there's $200 a square meter, then $300 a square meter. And once it's that, it's a wrap, because then you're going to be like Tulum, Mexico, where at one time you could be on the beach for 150,000. Now you're going to be 10 minutes back for 150,000 from the beach. All right. I'm just saying that's what's going to happen. Same thing. And Tulum is no Punta Cana. It's not the Dominican Republic. All right. So all I'm saying, that type of growth is happening there. What do you think is going to happen in Dominican Republic? All right. So same thing at Dominican Republic's happening. That's happening in Cancun area, Tulum, Merida. All them areas are having significant growth, and it's costing more money. 2 or 3 years ago, you could have been in Merida, bought a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom condo for like 50, 60 G's. Well, you can't no more. All right. And that's not even on the beach. All right. So all you got to do, ladies and gentlemen, is the economy affecting your life? Yes. I want to say something else. You know what the top 10 percenters generally do? The reason why they rarely have money on them is because they usually use the bulk of their money to buy assets. They're not sitting out here trying to buy liabilities. That's the difference. They're buying assets. They're going broke to buy assets. They're not going broke to buy liabilities, because they know down the line that gives them a return on their money. Their money's working for them regardless of whatever else they're doing. So they get to keep rolling over their profits and their money that they make. That's how they stay ahead of you. And when the economy goes bad, that's why they're also able to buy more than you and create more of a wealth gap. That's how this works. All right. You guys have to understand this. You have a once in a lifetime opportunity, I believe. I could be wrong. What I mean by this is, I think when the Federal Reserves reduce the interest rate starting at the end of this year, I think they're going to reduce it in 2024, all of 2024, every 2 or 3 months. And the party's on. It's the roaring 20s all over again. The party's going to be on for like 5 to 10 years. Everything's going to go way up as far as asset prices, homes and all that. But their costs that you're getting paid, or the monies you have coming in, they're going to be reduced. But if you're a person that has real estate, multifamily, hotels, or vacations, rentals, or anything that has to do with people coming and staying at your place, you get to raise up your rates to match the economy. You can't do anything if you have liabilities and you're tied up in liabilities. You're done. Your debt to income ratio is going to be way off. It's not like you can just all of a sudden go, oh yeah, I'm just going to pay off my $6,000 in debt today, and now I want to go buy something. Well, now the thing you're going to buy is going to cost you way more than it would have if you would have bought it in 2023. And that's one of the last bastions of places, real estate, where you can actually get hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equity that you didn't have to work for. I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it. You have to understand what you're dealing with here. Your job is not going to say, hey, Eric, you know what? You can stay here and work for us for the next 2 years. And by the way, yes, you get paid $100,000. In the next year, I'm going to give you 120. And the year after that, you're going to be making 140. We're just going to match inflation. We're going to match the cost of living. So that's why we want you to stay ahead of the curve. Nobody's going to get that. Nobody. You're not going to get that. Simple. So if somebody tells you buy a house and you bought a $400,000 house at the end of this year, interest rates start going down. Well, guess what's going to happen? That house is going to be worth 450 to 480 in probably a year. 2 years, it'll be at 570, something like that. Next thing you know, you've already made like over $200,000 by year 3 because the property values go more. And I don't mean make. What I mean is you have equity. So now they tell you, oh, your house is worth $700,000. You didn't have to work for it, but you have equity that you can tap into to go get yourself another property that gives you a return. And the property doesn't have to be a house. It could be multifamily. It could be a 3-plex, a 4-plex, a duplex. You can even build one from ground zero, but that money is free to you. Doesn't cost you anything. Although you did have to make the monthly payment somehow and things like that to get the equity. But nonetheless, in 3 years' time, not 5 years, not 10 years, not 20 years, not 30 years, you have access to this money if you refi and then go put it into something that gives you money in return. Again, I keep mentioning this. This is key. This is what has to happen going forward. You can't do the liability game anymore. The old, I'll buy whatever on credit, those days are going to be gone. Because if you get cut off, the government could do a reset and your whole credit is shambles because they go something social credit score or something. You never know what's going to happen. It might be by the zip code you live in. Oh, yeah, we'll give this guy $10,000. But the guy, because of that zip code, we're going to give him $50,000. You never know what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Curtis Davis, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon next to his name. And he brings his tagline, good evening, SSN family. ABMM, always be making money. Thank you so much for that, for you being here. And oh, by the way, he's known as AKA Mr. Financial. He's in the house tonight. And not only is in this house, but he's part of the SSN Nation, SSN Academy, SSN University, the No Guru Zone. He has his own YouTube channel. It's under Chili Davis, CHILLY Davis. We need to get him to 1,000 subscribers, so please go over there to the channel, click the all notification and the bell, subscribe, show some love. He gives out financial news and updates throughout the day and evening, and sometimes even late night. So you can make decisions financially within the stock market and other financial news. That's what you want, to be informed, not having to look for it. He helps you out, ladies and gentlemen. Go check it out. CHILLY Davis. All right, here we are. Eric, they increased the one in Boca Chica by $12K. I only had to pay 30% of the original price. I heard the banks don't finance more than 70%. Does that mean I have to look for the $12K at closing? Yes. Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly what that means. So, okay, so it depends because this is down by Santo Domingo, so you're going to have different banking options. But traditionally, here's what's going to happen, right? Okay, so whatever your contract says, that's how much they're going to loan you. Excuse me. If you're in Punta Cana. I don't know in Santo Domingo, they have more banks, so banks might be a little more lenient down there. But you got that exactly right. If they're not going by loan to value right now. So the question ends up being, when is the Boca Chica property going to be available? Because if it's going to take 2025, then you don't have nothing to worry about. Interest rates will be down lower. The loan to values are going to increase. The value of your property is going to raise. They'll be doing loans differently. But if you're have to do it this year, then you're probably going to be affected by not loan to values. They're going to say your contract says 50,000 after you put your down payment. So there you go. We'll give you the 50,000, knowing your property is worth 100, but they're only going to give you a loan to value of $50,000. So that puts you. And so if your price goes up 12,000 to 62.5, that means, but don't worry though, Mr. De La Cruz. Yeah, you're going to still have a problem because you're going to have to sign a new contract. It's going to raise the price by 12K. Then it's still going to be a problem because your loan to value is not going to be 50%. That's where the problem is going to come in, right? Your loan to value is going to be way off. It's going to be higher, 70%. So it all depends. Oh, damn. Closing is next month. Oh, man. They did this. Oh, man. They did the Christopher thing and the Epic thing. After people found out and go for their delivery, then they tell them it's 30 grand more or 25 grand more. So you couldn't even prepare for this. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, Mr. De La Cruz, you're going to have to give us some numbers then. So how much did you pay for it? Or the original contract, how much was it? And how much did you put down? 10% down, 20% during delivery, and then they raised it up 12.5. Is that what it is? Damn. Sorry to hear this, man. This is crazy. I hate this kind of stuff going on. Even in America, it's crazy. All right. I'm going to get myself a little break here. We'll come back. Let me know, is the economy affecting your life, ladies and gentlemen? Are you going to wake up? Because you have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity here. It doesn't have to be real estate. It could be your knowledge in your head, and go on these platforms as YouTube, StreamYard, and down below in the description. I have StreamYard down below. That's what I use. It's very basic, very simple, not hard for just anybody. That can help you get started for live streaming, or you can record on StreamYard and then release the video later. That's a thing. So that gives you an option as well. So you don't need any special software. So that's pretty cool. And you can put in any type of situation that you want. Like I'm about to play an SSN lifestyle video. So you can do this as well if you're going to do a video. So I'll put let's go with this. So just like we're talking here and you're doing a video, you can do this. Same thing, and you can add it, say, hey, this is a video I want to put in, or introduce it any way you want to, but check it out.
Come on, come on.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for being here in the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And if you missed, our own Professor Auntie Val has started her entrepreneurial business with Beachfront Java. You can get your 15% off now. Free shipping also. Let me put this code in there for you. But first, I'm going to have to do this, because we have some people that also did some Ring of Fire type of promotions who joined us. We have the Ring of Fire opportunity. So I wanted to show that. as well. You can see it here on screen. I'm going to see if I can put in this is the debt box node. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what's annoying about this. We're at $290 right now. Here are all the new licenses. DCM, this one just dropped. I'm obviously not in it, but that just dropped, which is interesting. But here's the cycle, 421 XPLR. We're up to 109,225. Data could not be loaded. That's interesting. But it's only 289. This costs $1,250. The debt box guys have done something different. They reversed. Yes, they reversed how they do it. It now costs, when a license first comes out, it costs more. And then as it gets older, it costs less, except for the early ones went the other way, right? After they reached a certain amount of sales, then the price went up, but the mining went down. I know why they did it, because that was my thing. I was like, wait, it's going to cost more, but you get less tokens. That made no sense. It should cost more when you get more tokens. So they did reduce it, but not for like the XPLRs and all that. But, well, hopefully you guys, I don't know what's happening, but hopefully you saw this 421 XPLR. So everybody that's in the SSN Lifestyle Ring of Fire who's part of this, yes, it doesn't look good, because remember, we bought into this at $1,250. All right. We're down now. The price of the coin is 0.002, down from like 1 or 2 cents. So that's 10 times the value has decreased, but that's okay. They still haven't launched the satellite yet. So we'll see what happens when August comes around. But I just wanted to give an update, and they did drop this. DCM token is now listed. That is the new token. It's on PancakeSwap. It has something to do with data centers. All right, just so everybody knows. And by the way, I did check on the heat. The heat is up in the fourth quarter with 10 minutes to play. And so far, so good. 86 to 68, up by 18. This is beautiful work, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, they came to play again. And then they got to play in 2 days, I think. But anyhow, we'll see. 3 days, maybe. All right, Mr. De La Cruz, they actually told me last summer. I'm just thinking about it now. Oh, damn. Okay. Well, then, yeah, you're going to have an issue if you didn't pay more than 30. So if you owe 70%, and now you're going to owe more than 70%, which is the bad part. You only put down 30%. I don't know the cost. I was going to try and figure it out for you, but that's not good. I use Zoom to record videos. There we go. Curtis Davis does this by Zoom. I don't know if because StreamYard's a free product. I don't know if Zoom's a free product. 83 to 66 Miami. 10 minutes left in the game. Auntie Val. But Zoom works. Go check out Chili Davis's channel. So since he said it, he uses Zoom. There you go. You can use OBS. That's free, but that's a learning curve. Thank you, Professor Auntie Val. Yes, they are up. Oh, wait, what did she just say? 89, 83. Okay, right now it's 89.68, I think it was. Beautiful work, ladies and gentlemen, if you can get it. But let me know, is the economy affecting your life? Of course it is. Of course it is. Anytime you have 20%, 15, 20% increases year over year, it's going to affect damn near everybody. This is why, get this, 50% of people that make from 100,000 to 200,000 also say they are living paycheck to paycheck. How you like that number? Is that crazy? Most people are like, wait, what are you saying? A guy that makes $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 a month is living paycheck to paycheck too? What the hell's going on? Hey, it's because they bought the bigger house. They have the higher real estate taxes. That's what happens here. All right? Simple. Here we go. Inflation and travel gone up. Exactly. Anybody tried to check it? Flights? I got to go back to Cali. So I checked flights. Something that used to be like $250 round trip from a major city, or $200 round trip, $400, $500, even saw $700. I was just like, what the frick? Crazy, ladies and gentlemen, what's happening? Crazy. Original price was 99K. Okay, well then there we go. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. So now it's 111, but they only paid 30%. That's a problem. So now we go 30,000. He was doing good. Divided by 111. Looks like 70. Oh, that's not bad. 73%. So it's gonna go by what your bank says. Hopefully you can get a 70%. You might not have to come with the full 12, but you will have to come with an extra. It looks like an extra 3,000-4,000, something like that, if you can find the 70%. Because right now we have it at 50% in the Punta Cana region, and I'm hoping that you don't have to deal with 50%, because that would be a disaster. Having to come up with 50, what is that, 55,000, 55.5, and you only put down 30. That would mean you need 25.5. That would be a disaster. We don't want that. SoFi CEO states 100K no longer means no paycheck to paycheck living. He's lost his mind. He's lost his mind. It is not everybody. It's 50%. That's what it is. So yeah. And if you lived in the Bay or the DC area or New York or Miami or LA, I mean, or even Phoenix, Arizona, people would be looking at this SoFi CEO like, is he smoking crack? Do you know how much it costs to? You can't even buy a house here because they're $1 million. You have to make more than $100,000. So what is he talking about? Okay, he might be talking about Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, or something. Who knows? Might be talking about some Midwest state, Ohio or Michigan, or you could be talking about like 20 states, 25 states. But there's also about another 20 states that 100K ain't going to cut it. He states all Americans struggle in 2023. Oh, okay. I misread your thing. Then yeah, that makes sense to me, because I'm like, he's lost his mind because he was doing SoFi, which is a fintech company, is what I call them. So yeah, if he was saying they weren't, I thought he was saying they weren't struggling. I was just like, holy smokes, what's he talking about? Yeah, it depends on where you live. Exactly. Seriously, it depends. A lot of people like me, I was trying to get down to Florida, and over the last 12 months, things have changed dramatically. That hurricane has come. All of a sudden, insurances are down to 2 insurance companies. They're charging people 2-3 times the rate. Your car insurances are going up 2 to 3 times the normal rate. The real estate taxes 2 to 3 times the rates. I mean, that's crazy. The cost of living of things you can't control. You can't control your electric bill, your gas bill. You can't control the real estate taxes. You can't control sales tax. You can't control any of that. And all of a sudden they stepped on the gas. They were like, and you can't control the insurance companies jacking up your prices because you have to be insured. That's the funny part, right? It's crazy. 70K in Oakland, considering below poverty. Exactly. You qualify for many programs. Exactly. Yeah, it costs an arm and a leg. Oakland homes are, 650,000 get you a shack. You have to make over $150,000 a year with no expense, with no debt, to buy a house 600,000-700,000 range. So, yeah, it's a wrap. This is what I keep telling people here in the SSN Nation. You guys have to understand. Once you start looking at the numbers, it's clear. Either you're going to have to live rurally, like what happened in Europe, or you're going to have to make a hell of a lot more money. Take your pick. Live rurally where there's no Walmarts, there's no grocery stores. You're going to have to drive 20-30 minutes into town or something. I'm just saying that's what's going to have to happen. This already happened in Europe. They just don't talk about it. But what they did in Europe was like in Switzerland, for instance. They have minimum wage, just like in America. but their minimum wage is like $25 to $30 an hour. So don't get a hip hip hooray, because all that did was that just raised up the amount of money in people's pockets. But that also increased the cost of living. So when somebody says, I want a hamburger, you're here in America, you go to a restaurant, you order a hamburger and it says $12, $8, and you're thinking, okay, that's kind of expensive. Well, how would you like to go overseas in some countries and see the menu say $35, $45 for a hamburger? Think about it. All right. Where do these people live, ladies and gentlemen? Exactly. It's already happened. Absolutely. Those cities. Exactly. The new debt ceiling negotiation states student loans will resume in 60 days. No problem. They were going to resume anyhow. Professor Auntie Val giving me the good news. They're up by 20 with 6 minutes left. Damn. I'm not going to celebrate no time soon, because Miami was down by 12 with 2 minutes and 54 seconds at home. And somehow they came back and was up by 1 with 2 an extra seconds added after a foul. I don't understand, but 3 seconds left on the clock. They gave him an extra second. That extra second came back to haunt them. It was clang off the board, and the guy came around and scored off the rebound with 0.05 left or something. So anything can happen in 6 minutes. They need to be up by 20 with 2 minutes left. That's what I need to see. 18-20 with 2 minutes left, I'd feel a lot better. That's right. Let's go, Miami. Here we go. Raising minimum wage does not solve problem. That's right. Think about Hawaii at McDonald's meal costs 15 to 20. Exactly, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't do anything different. Here's what's different. Here's what's funny, though. Give you guys a situation in Switzerland. I'm at Lake Zurich. And the whole time I'm in Switzerland, for the first 2 or 3 days, I'm walking around, and it was just, I travel around, and I notice little anomalies, right? I always check out safe spaces. I always check out where there's places to eat, where's the bathroom, stuff like this. So as we're walking around, I noticed they have all these nice little shops where you can go in, little cafes, restaurants, but it's not really restaurants. They're more like cafes when we're in Zurich. So we're walking around. I noticed they're all like these little food plates that you can get. It's not like a full meal. It's like little bites stuff. It's like almost like appetizers, except they give you stuff, but you get full. So then you just pay like $10, $12, $15, nothing major, just ordinary. So then eventually I was like, wait, I just noticed there's no real like restaurants around here. I'm downtown by the mall, by the train station too. But anyhow, if anybody knows Zurich, so you walk, and this is blocks. This is a whole place. Everything's like these little eating places, not really restaurants. That's in town at Zurich. Okay, get on the train, go down to Lake Zurich. Get out of Lake Zurich, get off the train. First thing we see is McDonald's. Okay, I'm like, not going to eat at McDonald's. That's crazy. But once again, nothing but these little places that you get like these little snack appetizer things, no real meal setups, just little appetizer, eat things. It's, $10, $12, $15, no biggie. So I'm just like, okay, where's the restaurant at? So at Lake Zurich, I go find a restaurant right by the water. It's upstairs. I think it was the Opera House. And I walk in, and we walk in, and the place is like white tablecloths, it looked like, but it wasn't like upscale. They just had white tablecloths, black chairs, and then it was just like ordinary restaurant. It looked nice, but it wasn't like it didn't have candles in the middle or anything like this, but it was still nice. So then I whip out the menu, and I'm like, okay, finally a restaurant around here. Then when I looked at the menu, I saw a hamburger for $48. I was like, so this is why There's no restaurants around. $48 for a hamburger. If you wanted salmon or steak, they were even more than that. They were like $60. And I was just like, no wonder nobody's up here eating at these places. If this is what the restaurants are doing, unfathomable. But then I find out, hey, what's the what I started finding out how much people were getting paid, and people were like, yeah, man, I live paycheck to paycheck. And I'm like, why? You guys have a high minimum wage situation, so why wouldn't $30 an hour, 40? They're like, because. And it didn't dawn on me because I had that conversation before I actually went to a real restaurant. Then I understood. I was like, well, wait a minute. 2 people eating, that's $130 just off of food. You get something to drink, you're damn near at $200. And all you got was one plate. So I was like, okay, even $25 an hour, people are going to have problems to just go out and have fun, eat, drink, and be merry. So then I understood the ecosystem and talk to people. You find out all kind of crazy stuff. You're thinking America's not nothing. People are getting minimum wage in America $7, $8, $10. People over there $25, $30 an hour minimum. And then you find out how much things cost. Then it's like, oh my God, this is what America's going to be 20 years, 15 to 20 years from now. Sure enough, America's going to be like that, except it didn't take 15 to 20 years. It's taken less. Okay, here we go. And that reminded me, now get this, after going up there to eat, come back down, go around the river, go hang out, do around the lake, go hang out, go shop or whatever. Coming back to the train, the McDonald's is there. And even though I got whatever food, I was like a little hungry. We're there like 3-4 hours. So I was like, okay, let's go in here in McDonald's and see how much it is in McDonald's. McDonald's has a line in there. Sure enough, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. McDonald's. Pretty much what the prices are at McDonald's probably right now. A happy combo meal, Big Mac meal, whatever, was $8 and something. I was like, okay, no wonder there's a line here. And no wonder there's nobody hardly at that restaurant, because things are way out of whack. So everybody's eating at the fast food places and those little, like I said, everything was 10, 12, 15 buck places, and people have fun. But I didn't understand for the life of me. I could not find like a restaurant, and restaurants weren't open. It was weird. And then I finally found out why. When I looked at the menu, I was like, oh my God. And the lady goes, yeah, it's like that at every restaurant around here. We're like one of the cheapest places. I was like, this is crazy. Crazy. A hamburger, $48. Crazy. Nothing special. Just hamburger, $48. Mia, got this. Miami got this. Don't be scared, boss. Right on. All right. Yeah, that's true. Minimum wage don't mean nothing. You should get multiple streams of income. Exactly. You don't want to have to work until you have to retire, ladies and gentlemen, because you're not going to be able to retire. Just keep that in mind. Curtis Davis, I used to belong to Fly Membership Club in California. It cost $1,300 a month, but the service cost $2,000 a month in Zurich. I was shocked. There you go. That's it. Exactly. That's exactly right. You go over to Switzerland and you think Switzerland's not really like, to me, it wasn't like really money like a lot of people say, right? You think of Swiss banks and things like that, and I'm sure they have billions of dollars. But it's just a different vibe. It's older, but the infrastructure is solid. They at least have trains that go fast from city to city. I mean, it's a different vibe. People walk around, shop around, everything's a different vibe. And it's just crazy. It's over. It's over. What do we got? 1 minute. Oh, it's over. The comeback is complete. They got it. Miami in the finals, ladies and gentlemen. The Heat then pulled it off. Thank you so much for letting me know. And I did just look. It's 101. As Professor Auntie Val says, 101-82. Miami says, no, we're not going to be the first ones ever to blow this 3-0 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals, not even if it's going to be played at the Garden, where the ghost of Christmas past used to save these guys. And by the way, anybody who's a historian, go check out Houston. in the 80s at the Garden. Check out Phoenix at the Garden when the games were pivotal. You'll see the ghost of the Garden Pass used to show up, phantom stuff. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it didn't work out for the away team. Pulling the starters. Miami 101-82. There we go. A minute and 50 seconds left. I love this. Right on. The Heat. A minute 36 I see now. The Heat then pulled it off. I was a little scared, I have to admit, because they played like crap the last 3 games. They were playing like an 8th seed. Let's just put it that way. They were playing like an 8th seed. But I'm glad they didn't have a 4-game losing streak. Geesh. All right. Well, there we go. It takes only 20 years to add bullet train in California. Exactly. Curtis Davis, no bullet train coming. No bullet train coming. Just like the bullet train that should have been going up and down the East Coast. Not coming. Right? Same thing. Have to deal with Florida only, apparently. Can't run up the whole coast because that would be just too good for infrastructure for the people when you can ride a train from New York to Miami and it's only going to cost you $35. You don't want that, do you? I mean, seriously, America's cracks me up, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I'm all good because this is one of the only places that you're able to actually do something. But they have some people fooled like you can't do something outside the United States, and you can, American citizens. Where do you think all the wealthy are making their money? They do business outside the USA. They just don't do it here. You can do business, even if you can't speak the language. Pick up the phone. You have one thing in America that you have that hardly any other country has. Most countries have people that speak English. Why? Because America, since they've had world currency and the Industrial Revolution, this is the place people always had to conduct businesses. So somebody in their firm has to speak English. That's how it works. And before that, it was the UK. So again, you have that English connection. So you don't have to really worry. They're always going to have somebody, even if they act like stupid, they're still going to have somebody on staff. Most people got educated in the United States or on an island or something, English speaking, or learned it in their country. And so they have somebody on staff because you have to. This is where the money is. English speaking countries, Europe and America. Well, yeah, most people in Europe, they speak English too. I mean, that's the way it is. So that's the one advantage you have as an American citizen. So you don't have to worry about doing business abroad. Somebody's always going to be speaking the language. All right. So don't limit yourself. What works here may not work outside the USA, and what's outside of the USA may work in America. So think about that. All right. So I got to Europe or China for fast train, right? That's it. That's where you're going to. Well, yeah, that's the only spots you're going. I don't think there is one in Mexico or South America. I mean, there could be, but I've never actually, you know what? I've never even been to Brazil or none of those. Peru, Argentina. Oh, that's right. Yep. Middle East as well. Exactly. North Africa. Exactly. Exactly. It's so true. You can make money elsewhere, make connections when you travel. Exactly. Exactly. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let me know what you guys think. Is the economy affecting your life? I think it's a resounding yes. Most people would agree. You've seen the price increases. You know how much home prices went up. You know the cost of living went up. You know how much rent prices went up. And it wasn't like a 3% increase or 5% increase. They're talking 20, 25, 30% increases. So you're going to have your once in a lifetime opportunity, which is coming now. You have phones, right? With your phone, you can do any social media platform. You can get paid from these social media platforms. You can actually make videos, which turns into TV shows or movies if you wanted to. You can run skits. You can start your own studio TV channel. You can do all kinds of things. You can get yourself on the Rokus and on other platforms. You're not limited, but you're going to have to learn. And you're always going to have to learn if that's something you've never done. Like myself, I've never done that, so I would have to learn. Never in the production thing, so I'd have to learn or hire somebody. Most people can't afford to hire these people, so then you have to learn. So take your pick, ladies and gentlemen. be here and do nothing and get a lamb to slaughter, because you understand that you are the lamb to slaughter. Let me put it to you another way. One day, I told this story before. One day, I'm down at New Orleans. I have the timeshare, Club La Pension. I have townhouses. There's only 4 of them. So the guys want me to come to a meeting to talk to them. I said, I don't want to give up my townhouses. I had 2 of them for 2 weeks. I don't want to give them up. So they were offering me everything. They said, we'll give you a points. I said, points aren't even real. Points are just basically everybody has points, and then first come, first serve. And then if you can't get those dates, you're out of luck. But the weeks, nobody has weeks. So there's always going to be availability. So no, I'm not selling. After the meeting, after they offered me everything under the sun, including paying me and giving me points, and I said no, he turns to me after the meeting and says, Eric, these buildings are old here in New Orleans. The boiler's going to go out. There's going to be repairs. And what's going to happen when those repairs come up? We're going to charge extra special maintenance fees. So we're going to get your units. It's just a matter of when. When you start thinking about that, when I walked away and I realized, damn, he's actually right. They could do whatever they want. They can say, hey, the boiler needs fixing. All owners now got to pay $5,000 each. Special assessments. That's exactly what's happening right now in Florida with the real estate taxes and with insurances and everything. You have no control over it. Zero control. And that also goes for everybody else, because if they have to cover stuff in Texas, Louisiana, Florida, from the hurricanes and the tornadoes and all that, everybody's insurance goes up. Not just in Florida. Florida gets the bulk of it because they got reduced like to 2 insurance companies. But everybody's goes up because you have to cover the other places. They're billions of dollars of losses. So you're still stuck. Just like you're stuck with your electric company, just like you're stuck with your insurance companies. You have to have insurance coverages. You're stuck. So they can easily wake up and say, yeah, we're going to raise it. You were paying $3,000 a year for your real estate taxes. Now it's $9,000. You can't do jack crap. If you don't pay it, they'll put a lien on your house. You don't even own your house in reality. That's the other fallacy. I guess I might as well bring this up. The white picket fence and all this, that, and the other. You guys you do realize you don't own nothing. Because if you don't pay your mortgage, the house is taken. You paid off your mortgage, and then you said, well, I'm not going to pay my, I won't go into HOAs, but I'm not going to pay my real estate taxes. Well, there'll be a tax lien on your house. And if you don't pay it in usually 2 to 3 years, it'll be up for sale. Somebody can buy the tax lien, then tell you, hey, you got to give me 6% interest on this. So you don't own it again. It'll be taken if you don't pay it. So you don't really own anything in reality, but most people think you do. But in reality, it's just rented. And so unless you have things coming in, you pass away, you want to leave your family member, you go, this house is for you, let's say. Well, the one thing that you're not going to be able to leave, or if you didn't think about it, you didn't think about leaving them monies, because the cost of upkeep, the cost of maintenance, the cost of insurance, the cost of the taxes have risen. So now somebody has to cover that somehow. So that's the thing, right? So keep that in mind. That's what's happening here. All right. The news claims Florida best place for retirees. The slaughter coming. Yes, that was the news until the hurricane happened, and all of a sudden the script got flipped. It was cheap homes. It was cheap insurances, no state income tax. Everything was beautiful. But in the last 12 months, sugar went to SHIT, ladies and gentlemen, because like I said, home prices went up 50%. So, person that had real estate taxes of $2,500 a year all of a sudden found themselves, because they moved down here, they increased it. Now they found themselves with a $5,000 a year real estate tax bill. In case you guys aren't counting, that would be like $450 a month. So keep in mind, you have a $2,000 a month mortgage. You have your PMI, so that's $2,400. Then you find out, wait, what do you mean? I'm paying $200 a month insurance. Oh, I'm sorry. You now have to pay $450. Now you're paying $2,800 that you didn't count on. Then the insurance company calls you up and says, hey, how old? We see your roof is over 15 years old. We can't insure you. So either A, you have to get a new roof, or B, we can't insure you. So you won't have no coverage. Now, because they made this rule up, all of a sudden, all the roofers are going, right on. This is beautiful. Now you call up the roofer. He says, that'll be $75,000, Mr. Bird. Excuse me? That's right. $75,000 is what we're charging. You know why? Because everybody now needs a roof that's 15 years or older. In some cases, 12 years or older. Or younger, rather, I should say. 12 years or younger, 15 years and younger. And then, not only after you got to get the roof fixed, then they tell you your insurance used to be $3,000 annually. It's now $9,000. Add on another $800 a month, ladies and gentlemen, just like that. So you're paying an extra $1,200 to $1,500. Bingo. And you have to fix stuff too. And there's only one or two companies that will cover you. That's what happened in Florida. Now everybody's freaked out. Guess what else happened? Everybody that's in an HOA. The insurance companies called up and said, hey, you know, your policy that's $300,000 a year and it covers you for millions of dollars. Well, it's not going to cost you $100,000. Wait, what did you just say? We have 100 homes here and we have a condo project. That's a $70,000 increase. That means I got to go to my HOA and tell them it's $1,500 a person or something? They're like, hey, well, that's what you got to do. And oh, by the way, how old is your clubhouse roof? This is crazy. This is what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. So all of this was unplanned. It was the best retiree place to go. And it was. You guys know I was going to Florida until my mom passed away. So that was the situation. And now it's funny how life works out. I've always had this karma. I've always had this good luck, I got to say, because I would have been down there in that same muck and I would have been sitting there going, wait, what do you mean my insurance is now $9,000, $10,000 a year premium? What are you saying? I'd be in disbelief trying to figure a way out. My real estate taxes going up an extra double, let's say. I'd be like, wait, I already paid $250. You're telling me I'm going to pay $500 now? I mean, that would be insane. Insane. $1,400, $1,500 out of the blue. And heaven forbid if you're in an HOA situation. So adding on another $100, $200, $300 a month on that. And you're sitting there thinking, okay, I got this nice little house. It's only $2,000 a month. And the next thing you know, you're paying $3,300 a month. Then you're sitting there thinking in your head, man, I could have stayed in Cali. If I'm going to spend $3,300 a month, I could have just stayed in Cali. Okay, so there you go. But that's exactly right. Mr. Hard, cold fact, he's back. Thank you, Curtis Davis. Exactly. Because you got to F average, be legendary, ladies and gentlemen. The best part is you have to know the information in order to utilize that information for the best use of it for yourself. How you can come up, create your wealth, financial freedom. It's all at your fingertips, but you have to act. You just can't sit around. Nothing's going to get cheaper. Summer on fire just started, and fools are out shooting in Hollywood, Florida. Exactly. There's shootings in Florida, Texas. There's shootings everywhere. People, first of all, people are mentally ill. We'll use the mentally ill part first. I don't really mean mentally ill. What I mean is stressed, not able to cope with pressure situations, not able to cope in social environments. So the easiest thing to do, why cope? I can eliminate. Why should I go down and work on myself? I can just eliminate everybody that I don't like. It's easier. And by the way, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Oh, yeah, I'll be locked up, right? But I'll have meals 3 times a day. I'll be wearing some jumpsuit, but meals 3 times a day, whatever. I mean, it's getting bad out here, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting crazy. Florida and Texas have suckered the Northerners people to move south to beat taxes, but Florida got some soup with your meal. Exactly. Oh, Texas is next. As soon as the next one lands, this hurricane season, because Texas and Florida they're the top 2 hurricane states. One's probably going to hit in Texas this year. I don't know how Florida's been hit damn near every year now, whether it's a Cat 3, Cat 4. It's getting bad. The water's heating up. Human beings don't believe in climate change. Well, the scientists been telling you for the last 20 years that there is climate change. And in Miami, for all my fellow Southeast Florida people, you might want to check out what the scientists say about the map down there as the water's rising because the polar caps are melting. So certain parts of Miami are going to be underwater. You might want to find out what parts they are before you buy something down there, just for starters. It's pretty clear it's going to happen. It's happened in the Pacific Ocean, but because they're small islands and mostly we're not in the Asian markets, people don't talk about it, but it's already happened. It's been happening. And actually, if you go to South Beach or hang out in South Beach, you'll see pumps are covered. You'll see these orange blocks, but they sometimes cover them in the green, so you kind of don't really notice them. But when you're sitting at a light, you'll hear this pumps running, like generators running. And it's kind of like you're in the city, kind of, so you don't really notice it. But then you'll start, now that I'm talking about it, you'll notice it, because when you're down there, you'll be like, oh, damn, there's a pump right there. There's a pump over there. You drive down further, there's another pump. They're already pumping the little island of South Beach. All right, so you guys, be careful. Be careful. Just off yourself. Why hurt innocent people? Hey, that's the way I look at it, Vanessa Comagate. But with anger, rage, and all this, you want somebody else to hurt because you hurt. That's how the psyche works for some strange reason, unfortunately. El Nino. Oh, don't say anything like that, Professor Auntie Val. Don't tell me this is an El Nino year. That means, oh my God, that's not good. Sorry, I know some people have mental health issues. It just makes me mad. Vanessa Comagate, I subscribe to the same thing. I subscribe to the same thing. I say the same. Look, I don't mean to be mean, but that's the way I am too. So I'm gonna tell you guys straight up. This is what I've told people before. Somebody has walked up to me before. Several times this has happened in my life, where somebody's sitting there like, man, I'm going to kill myself. And they say these things like, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to hurt somebody. I would look at them going, I can't talk to you no more. I can't be around you no more. Because in my brain, I'm saying to that person, I would tell them, I'm like, if you want to kill yourself, then that means you have no regard for my life. So I'm out. I'm gone. That's the way I always looked at it. I'm like, why are you telling me about this? If you got a problem, that means you're going to hurt other people. If you don't care about your own self, you damn sure going to hurt other people. That's the way I've always looked at it. And that's generally what happens. They'll hurt everybody else before they off themselves. They'll hurt everybody else or not even off themselves. And so that's the thing about the psyche, right? So I've always told people, and I've also said to somebody, hey, man, just do it already. Because I'm out the way. Just do it already. And then generally they're like, what the hell? He's not actually trying to stop me. So the person never did anything, but I've done that a couple of occasions. I'm like, just do it already, man. I'm safe. Get it over with. Why are you telling me about this crap? Now I don't feel safe around you. That's the way I always looked at it. So I'm with you kind of like that, Vanessa Comagade. I hate to say it, but that's how I am. Professor Antival, the rich know this. Areas that are considered the hood are being scooped up and gentrified at an accelerated rate. Oh, yeah, exactly. Remember in I think is it Delray Beach? Yeah, Delray Beach. When you come out of downtown, you go across the freeway, and it used to be like the hood. All of a sudden, I was there like 3-4 years ago, and they were just buying up everything that used to be in the so-called hood. I was just like, this is crazy. They would have never bought this stuff before. Mental illness is everywhere. You got that right. Exactly. In New York, they call it prison. 3 hots and a cot. Exactly. When it gets cold, the rent too damn high and my job ain't paying crap. Exactly. Yeah, no respect for life. It's horrible. Exactly. Immune to it. Exactly. It's crazy out here. That's why you have to protect yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, we're talking about this subject matter, but what you guys don't realize is every time I've told people this for 20 years, I said, you live in a third world country. They looked at me like, what the heck does he keep saying this for? When you start breaking it down and you have all these shootings, all these killings, all these mass shootings, all these going to kids' schools and shooting, all these shooting people down on the freeway and at nightclubs, and you understand your society is devolving. It's going down. It's not going up. We're not even in the top 10 of the safest places in the world to live. So snap out of it. All right. Snap out of it. So again, when infrastructure is not being built, you're going to sit around and wait for the tax man to all of a sudden say, you know what, instead of us taking 20 to 24% of your taxes, we're going to be like Europe. We're going to take like 40% of your taxes, 45% of your taxes. You guys want to wait around for that? It's coming. It's coming. There's only a limited amount of people that's working. You're going to have to cover over 300 million people and services. Where do you think the government's going to get their money from? Clearly, they have no appetite for charging the guys that have $1 million. They don't want them guys to pay for nothing. All right, come on. So who do you think is going to get hurt here? You better start expanding your horizons, whether it's business-wise or whatever. It needs to be offshore. That's why crypto has a place. Because now the money can run across lines. The bank, you can't go to the bank and the bank goes, you know what? We're not going to send your money overseas. Or worse, we're not going to give you your money. And you can't use your card because we cut them off. That could be the worst scenario. Talk to somebody that's still alive that lived in the 1930s. They'll tell you. All right? So you guys got to think about this. Put yourself in position to win no matter what it is. If the worst case happens, you're set. If nothing happens and things get better, guess what? You're still set. That's why you get assets while you can. And the can time is now. All right? Here it is. In South Beach, Miami people are too busy looking at sandy beaches. Got the music up loud at the club to worry about the water pumps or flood possibilities. Exactly. Going through life. La, 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 right? It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. So that's how it works. The guy in Kentucky shot up bank. His parents knew his mental illness. You were not safe at work. Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not safe, period. I keep, again, just like when I started 3-4 years ago now. 5 years ago, almost coming up. And I told you guys then, if anybody's still with me now, some of you are, I used to say America's a third world country. Even then, people were still like, okay, we hear what he's saying. But yeah, now that we have more cameras, more TV stations want to show stuff, and more people who have cameras are now showing it before the news shows it. Now people are saying, well, wait a minute, this is everywhere. Every city, every state, everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. And now you understand why the wealthy say, we want our gated communities. We want our own security. We want our videos right here. We don't want nobody in here. If you look like you're not from here, you getting stopped. We don't want you in here, because that's what it turns into. It turns into everybody that comes in here that you don't know, you're suspect. You might be somebody that's trying to do something. That's how people start getting heightened. And that's when things that's what's basically happening. Now you're going to shoot people for ringing doorbells. Hey, I'm lost. Can you help me? Bam, bam. This is where we're at. It's going to get worse. Do you want an off-ramp? Well, you better find one. You better get them assets making money so you can be anywhere in the world, or you buy an asset outside of the country so you can go to that country. You got to find a safe haven. Think about this in the early 1700s, 1800s. People were coming from Europe because of famine, because of persecution against your religion, and all kind of stuff. They were fleeing to America. America came with open arms. You can come here. You can land here at Ellis Island. Sign in. Come on in, immigrants. But that's the thing. They were able to escape. So, same thing. It works in reverse eventually. Those countries are thousands of years old and people were trying to escape. America's only like, well, let's just say the evolution 400 years. All right, that's nothing. And look how we're devolving in 400 years. Not getting better with human reactions and human relations. It's getting worse. That just tells you it's heading in the wrong direction. All right, think about it. Even in South Philly, oh my God. So, man, don't hang out in Philly. They're putting 3 stacked high apartments and tearing down old townhouses. The traffic and crime still high. Exactly, because you have the teeter-totter effect is what I always call. If you have 1,000 residents who's in the criminal side, and now you bring in some 50 residents because you got these shiny object homes, sorry, ain't going to help you escape. But eventually they'll get there, because what's going to end up happening, the wealthy's just going to buy up all the blocks. Then they're going to knock enough blocks down, somewhat what happened in New York. And then it'll teeter-totter start going the other way. And then they make it the rent high where they can't live there. So you have gentrification. Same thing, same playbook, no way around it. But the point is, you still live in a third world country. Just because they moved there doesn't mean anything, because eventually the teeter-totter is going to be like the haves and the have-nots. So once the more than the have-nots, they're going to start doing what they're already doing: raiding, robbing, stealing, rolling in. What do you have to lose? You don't have anything. So when you have enough people not having anything, then you're going to have those people taking what they want. That's basically what's going to happen. This is very simple, basic human instincts. And South Philly, man, Philly, like, I don't even look, man, I know a lot of places not safe. Now that we keep talking about it, Philly's not safe either. Curtis Davis, the NAFTA job sold us out years ago. Mr. Clinton, service jobs are fungible, temporary visas, immigrants. Yep, AI will eliminate all remaining manufacturing jobs or important jobs. Unfortunately, that's correct. We're going to have less people actually in the workplace. The money that these companies make are going to go to the top. Employees are going to get paid less. There'll be less employees, which also means less tax revenue. So that means cities, states, and governments like the United States are going to have to make decisions. So now, if you have a 6 or 7 or 8% sales tax, bye-bye. Try the next election, it'll be 9 or 10%. All that is siphoning your wealth off. You may not think of it as another couple percent, but that's siphoning off more wealth than you thought. You're paying 10% for sales tax. Then, if you're in states other than Texas and Texas and Florida, which paid 0, then you have these states like Cali, 10% tax. Then they tell you, oh yeah, we have a state tax that you got to pay us. Then you got to pay federal. So most states do have a state tax now, and also Nevada, no tax. But most states have a tax. You can't avoid it. And I'm going to be shocked if Florida or Texas doesn't implement some sort of state tax. I mean, they're doing what they're doing. They're not going to implement state tax, but you know what they're implementing? Real estate taxes to offset it. Ridiculous real estate taxes. It's crazy. So either way, you're going to pay it. It just depends on how they want to formulate it. So that's the way it goes, ladies and gentlemen. So get your assets now. Is the economy affecting your life? It's more than you think. Don't sleep. Your time is almost up. There's a ticking time bomb. And if you don't have wealth moves in place over the next 6 to 12 months, it's going to go boom in your face. And all this stuff about kids not leaving home, you can't blame them. People moving into a communal situation like they do in Asia, you're not going to blame them. Like they do in Mexico, not going to blame you. 2 or 3 families living together, possible. I mean, it's going to happen at this rate because nobody's going to be able to pay $800,000, $1 million for every home. That's impossible. The only way that's going to happen is when they implement Plan B, when they sell you a 40-year mortgage. That's Plan B. So they'll give you a higher price home, but you're going to have a 40-year mortgage. Just like when they had a 5-year car loan, now you can do 7, 8, 10-year car loans. Same thing. Car prices can go higher because they can get you to pay the same amount and extend the rate or the time to pay. Same thing's going to happen on homes. 40-year mortgages will be normal. You'll have choices, 15, 30, 40. It's going to happen. It's clear because people can't afford it. So therefore, the only thing you can do is extend the time and lower their payment. And they'll pay more because all they're going to care about is the paper in the first place that they can sell. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this up. We have a little bit of celebrating to do that the Heat are in the finals. They came through on the last game, 7 game in the Boston Garden. The Boston Celtics have lost few games over their storied franchise history. A 7th game in the Garden is almost like Celtics are winning. It's beautiful that Miami finally went through with this. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Okay. SSN Lifestyle members, just want you to know, new website, new labeling, new bottles for the products coming out in July. We'll start phasing in the new bottles actually in June, but I just want to let you know officially it'll be July. A new website coming out. It should be officially up in July or sooner, but July 2023. And we will be rearranging a few of the membership deals and rearranging some of the benefits and all that. So stay tuned for that. It's exciting that that's going to happen. We're going to have a Ring of Fire. I hope to know tomorrow about a new Ring of Fire, which is the storage unit in Punta Cana area. Hopefully I can get some of this acre or half an acre so I can start this storage situation over there. Because that storage situation, and once you have the acre, you can rope it off and put it as a transportation storage yard and make some money straight away. Don't have to put in a traditional storage unit. We can make money straight away. They've opened the offices for transportation where you have to get a license now. They're regulating the licensing for transportation, business, and services if you're an individual person or company. So that's pretty awesome. So those people are going to need places to store their vehicles, right? Safe, compounds. So I got to figure out how we're going to set this up. Hopefully we're going to do that so people will have a ring of fire opportunity. Yep, exactly. So we'll see how that goes. The COVID money has boosted state's budget full temporary in a few years. We are all back in deficit budget. Exactly. That's what's going to happen. Ring of fire for the storage, really? Yes, Vanessa Comagate. Yep. I'm going to include you guys. If people don't want to be in, they don't have to be, but I'm going to give you, I'm doing it anyhow, with or without it. But if somebody wants to get in, I'm going to have something that I don't know the cost yet. Hopefully I'll know it tomorrow. I'm hoping they quit messing around. And hopefully another deal I have that is not a ring of fire deal. I'll just let you guys know. If the hotel deal goes through, then you guys will know about it because there'll be a contract, and you guys know. I'll show you contracts on that. So people understand you don't have to be afraid. Just because the number has an extra zero on it, it's still a deal. It doesn't, it's still the number doesn't matter. What matters is how much profit do you make? How much does it cost? That's the numbers that matter. So if somebody says to you that you're going to make, I always say, the closer I make to 20%, the better. If the deal's under 10%, then I don't even talk. There ain't nothing to talk about, because you can put 11% with Jeppy. So why are you going to mess around? Now, if you want to create something and say, okay, I'm going to get 10%, but the 10% is you owe 100,000 and you're making 250,000. Okay, we'll live with the 10% because there's $150,000 profit annually, $12,000 check coming in every month. You'll live with that. But you don't want to put yourself in a situation where the thing costs as much as you owe, because you're not going to win on that one. All right. So you guys are going to know about it. But the storage unit situation, that's going to be a ring of fire. Property taxes, food, travel, college education, insurance, church, hire. Exactly. All new car loans, $700 a month, 7 years, plus insurance, $1,000 a month for a car. Exactly. And to be exact, it is the car loans. The average payment is $734 a month. So he's exactly right. That's what people are doing now. $700 a month, 7 years, $1,000 a month for a car. He's got it right. Registration, also on vehicles, depending on what state you live in Cali, you're going to be spending $300-$400. Plus smog, $40, $35, $40, $50, whatever. All that comes into play. So it's crazy. It's crazy. All right. Go Miami, Pat Riley and company. Glad to see Boston beat. Exactly. Because I'm a Sixers fan back in the day when I was growing up and the doctor was in the house. And it was crazy. The battles they used to have. Crazy. All right. Facts. Chili D. Exactly. Yes. Yes, sir. Exactly. That's exactly right. That's what we deal in around here, ladies and gentlemen. You got to know the facts, so then this way you can make decisions that work for you. Now, did I put that link down here? No. Hold on. Did not. Let me, before I close this out, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to close this out this evening. We're probably going to talk on Wednesday night. I don't know what we're going to be talking about. We should have some updates on Larimar. There might be something new. There'll be updates. In case you don't know, Larimar has lots. If you missed that video, they have 450 square meter lots that are $105,000. It's by the golf course. So basically, you're going to have golf course view. They are not selling villas yet, but $105,000 for a lot at Larimar, 450 square meters. It might be a little bit pricey, but at an upscale luxury location, golf course with a country club, driving range, restaurant, spa, fitness room, and a membership, it's going to be worth it. Those lots are not going to be $105,000 in 2 years. Let's just put it that way. Once they build in phase one, and it's not going to be. They're going to be worth a lot more. And that also means any house you build there is going to be worth a. So I'll give you guys one last thing. In fact, I'm going to probably make a video about this because you guys have to understand this doesn't apply just to Punta Cana. It applies to everywhere. When you're buying real estate and you're doing these villas or homes, you have to understand there is a value on golf courses. Okay, Auntie Val, I'm gonna gather up the guys for the DR coffee runs. Exactly. Exactly. And here goes the link again, ladies and gentlemen. 15% off for SSN Nation members by using the link in the chat room. If anybody has any questions, please make a comment down below. And if you're watching the replay and you have a question, make comments down below. Somebody will answer. More than likely, I will chime in. Somebody else may help you and chime in. So just ask. All right. But Beachfront Coffee, 15% off and free shipping in the United States. Grand soft launch opening right now from Professor Auntie Val and family, making it happen with premium coffee, Africa, South American countries. Gotta love it. And yes, I ordered myself a pound. So I'm going to be adding my hot chocolate to it later on this week. And I'm going to give you guys some feedback. All right. We'll see how that goes. So check it out. All right. Beachfront Java, Professor Auntie Val, making it happen. All right. Let me know if you guys have any. Now, let me get back to this. I'm going to end this. I'm going to make a video about this because, again, people don't understand that. Somebody made comments. I did make the video about the 105 square meter, $105,000 lot at Villa at Larimar. And it's 450 square meters, which is basically 5,000 square feet. So it's 50 by 100 in theory. We don't really have dimensions, but 5,000 square feet is what a city lot generally is in most American cities. And so you can get an idea on what you can build there. You can build very nice houses, but it's going to depend on the easement. In case you don't know what I mean by easements, it means this. When you go to whether you live in an apartment, whether you live at a home, you notice that you have a sidewalk or no sidewalk. You notice the house is set back a certain amount of feet. There's a reason, because there's an easement. Sometimes the easement could be 10 feet. Sometimes it could be 20. Sometimes it can be 25, but generally it's 20. Why? Because you're going to have a driveway, you're going to have a garage, and you want to have enough that if you ever need to widen your street, they can knock off like 5 feet and get add an extra lane. So this is generally why they keep it around 10. Oftentimes, though, it could be 20, and I don't know what the easement is at Larimar if you're going to build a house. But 50 by 100, even if they took off 40, 20 in the front, 20 in the back, that's 60 feet. And then normally they might take off 10 on the side. So now you only have 30. But now if you go 30 by 60, that's 1,800 square feet on one level. Simple, right? 2 levels means you have a 3,600 square foot house. That's how I think of it. Now, if they do easements like they have been doing easements in the DR, where they let people do crazy stuff, where it might be a 10-foot easement in the front, 10-foot easement in the back. Now you have 80 square feet. And then I'm only saying 10 feet on the side because generally in luxury locations, you don't do 5 feet easements. So I'm thinking each person has 10. So you have 20 feet between a building. That's about right. I hope they don't make it smaller than that. But I'm just illustrating because you'll have 80 feet long and you'll have 30 feet wide. That means 2,400 square feet on down below, 2,400 square feet up. That means you have 4,800 square foot house. That's going to be pretty big. That's a very, very big house, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So that's how you do it. And then something tells me that's kind of what you're going to be looking at. So you're going to be able to have large homes on villas on the golf course with a clubhouse, with memberships. And the acres they have for the golf course is 148 acres. A PGA golf course is generally 230 to 140 acres. Just give you an idea. They probably won't have the PGA golf course tour there because Cap Cana has these spectacular golf course, and so does Corrales. They're all by the water. The holes are on the water. It's sick, right? So that's what's going to end up happening. But I'm just letting you know, upscale luxury, driving range, clubhouse, and then you have your sports complex, which is not even part of the driving range. That's a sports complex is back there by the villas as well. the basketball, the paddleball, the tennis, the soccer, baseball batting cage is what I've seen so far. Maybe it's, I don't think they're going to add a baseball field. That's a lot of area. So anyhow, we'll talk about it. There you go, sis. Good night, fam. Good night, Seamless Genius. Thank you so much for being here. And I want to let everybody know I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support over all these years. Guess what? Can you believe 5 years has went by so fast? I can't believe it. Just like yesterday. But it's all right, ladies and gentlemen. We're still here. We're still talking. We're still pumping it out. We're still trying to get you that wealth, ladies and gentlemen, that financial freedom. We're trying to get you there. Don't be shy about it. Make things happen now. If you need some help, always hit me up. Support at stopstrugglingnow.com. And like I said, I love you. I appreciate your support, everybody with the icon. Thank you so much for the financial support. And we'll see you on Wednesday night at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, Wednesday night live stream, members with the icon is the only one that can be in the chat room. Everybody can watch, but only members with the icons can be in the chat room, or members of our social media as well can be in the chat room. But only members with the icon can be in the chat room. All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, and that's why you have to get your wealth now while it's cheap, because this won't be any time in the future. This is the cheapest time that you're going to get assets. This will be the cheapest time that you'll be able to make deals around the world. This is your best time, because the no qualifying, no credit check, no barriers to entry, they're all in effect right now. You can grow with countries. You can grow with the investments. This is why you can make moves now at a cheap cost. And with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, be safe, and keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.